next outlook is scheduled to be released in about an hour. All right, y'all, let's check back in on that mesoscale precipitation discussion we talked about. MPD 0838 for the Pacific Northwest. So the situation hasn't changed much, which is kind of the problem. Those storms over parts of Washington, Idaho, and Montana are still just parked there, dumping rain at up to 2 inches per hour. The flash flood threat is absolutely still in play, especially with all the burn scars in the area. Looks like this mess will hang around for several more hours this evening. Don't let your guard down. All right, so here's your y'all cast for Trenton, New Jersey. Did you know that Trenton is the site of George Washington's first military victory of the Revolutionary War, after his famous crossing of the Delaware River? Speaking of things moving through, let's talk about this weather system. Right now, just after 1 a.m., it's a cloudy 68 degrees out there with a bit of a northeast breeze. No active weather alerts for y'all, which is always good news. For the rest of your Friday, you'll want to keep the umbrella close. We've got a chance of showers and maybe a thunderstorm or two lingering, especially through the morning hours. It's going to be a cooler, mostly cloudy day with a high only getting up to about 75 degrees. The rain should start to clear out by the evening, leaving us with a low around 60. But then your weekend turns into a real stunner. Saturday is looking fantastic, folks. The clouds move out, we get full sunshine, and a beautiful high of 81 degrees. It's the perfect day to get outside. And that great weather continues right into Sunday. We're looking at another sunny day, even warmer this time, with the high climbing to about 84. Just a gorgeous end to the weekend on tap for you. That's the latest for Trenton. Remember, if you want your town on the map, drop a request in a super chat. Okay, checking a camera in Chesapeake on I-64. The roads are soaked with that nearby flash flood warning in effect, and it looks like one car is having a particularly bad night. It appears to be on fire. Okay, so that flash flood warning continues for east central Santa Fe County and northwestern San Miguel County in New Mexico. Radar still shows heavy rain causing life-threatening flash flooding in areas like Pecos and Glorieta, impacting about 7,352 people. This warning is in effect for another 2 hours and 35 minutes until 1:45 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. Remember, turn around, don't drown. Just to update you on a report we got within the last hour out of Dona Ana County, New Mexico. Around 10:16 p.m. local time, emergency managers reported a flash flood situation just east of University Park. This is a serious event, as a water rescue is reportedly underway at Dripping Springs Road and Camino Bonito. If you are in that area, please stay off the roads. This is a dangerous developing situation. We'll continue monitoring. All right, moving on to flooding concerns, let's check the latest WPC excessive rainfall outlook. We have a widespread marginal risk. That's a level 1 out of 4 for several parts of the country overnight. The main area we're watching closely is eastern Oklahoma. While it's a marginal risk, the WPC notes that some spots could see very intense rainfall, with rates up to 2.5 inches per hour and isolated totals reaching 4 inches. This means localized flash flooding, the kind you might see in a higher slight risk, is definitely on the table. So if you're in areas around Tulsa or Norman, stay weather aware tonight. Out east, that marginal risk continues for a few more hours from the mid-Atlantic, like near Norfolk, up through the eastern shore and southern New England. The threat is fading, but some heavy downpours are still possible. Finally, we have scattered storms across the Rockies and High Plains. From Arizona and New Mexico up to Montana, that could produce localized heavy rain, especially in the northern plains into the early morning. All right, y'all. Time for a situation update. Our current weather intensity score, or WIS, is sitting at 22.98. On our scale, anything from 0 to 30 means we're in a mostly quiet pattern, which is exactly where we are. We have 0 tornado warnings and 0 severe thunderstorm warnings acted anywhere in the country. We do have one live storm chaser on the map, keeping an eye on some potential activity for us. Looking at the outlook for today, the daily outlook score is a low 26.14. The threshold for Ryan to start a live stream is a whiz of 178.22. So with our current score in the low 20s, a live stream is very unlikely today. The video probability is also no, so it doesn't look like a main channel video is in the cards either. Now here's the key forecast detail. That whiz of about 23 is about to drop significantly. It's being artificially propped up by a high camera score from flash flood warnings in Virginia that are over 95% expired. Once those officially end within the next 10 minutes, the whiz will plummet. We expect a second, smaller drop around the 20-minute mark as a warning in New Mexico expires. The score will then stabilize at a much lower baseline. The only potential for a rebound is if new warnings pop up in the region covered by an active mesoscale discussion, which does note continued flash flood potential. So, the bottom line is, it's quiet now, and it's about to get even quieter. Let's check in on the Dragon Bravo fire, burning near the north rim of the Grand Canyon. The fire has grown to 115,415 acres and remains at 9% containment. A mandatory evacuation order is in effect for the entire North Rim area. If you are in this area, you need to leave immediately. Firefighters are facing extremely difficult conditions. A red flag warning is active due to very strong wind gusts and critically dry fuels, which is causing the fire to spread. Heavy smoke is impacting the region, including visibility from the South Rim. You can check local air quality at outlooks.wildlandfiresmoke.net. Please follow all instructions from emergency officials. All right, checking a camera in Cedar Falls, Iowa. There's a flood warning nearby for this area. All right, so that flash flood warning continues for north central Cascade and southwestern Chouteau counties in Montana. Flash flooding is already occurring in areas like Great Falls, Black Eagle, Malmstrom Air Force Base, and Tracy, with up to 2 inches of rain already fallen and more expected. This warning affects approximately 72,400 people and remains in effect until 12:15 a.m. MDT Friday. Remember, if you encounter flooded roads, turn around, don't drown, especially at night when it's harder to see the danger. Just to update you on a report we received earlier this evening out of Montana. Around 9:15 p.m. local time, a train spotter reported significant flash flooding in Cascade County, specifically just west-northwest of Great Falls. They observed 6 inches of flowing water in the streets, powerful enough to send garbage cans floating down the road. A very dangerous situation for anyone still out and about. We'll continue to monitor conditions in that area. All right, let's get an update on Tropical Storm Iona, which is churning out in the open waters of the Central Pacific. As of the latest advisory, Iona is located near 13.7 degrees north, 172.7 degrees west. Maximum sustained winds are holding at 50 miles per hour, and it's moving west-northwest at a quick 23 miles per hour. Forecasters note the storm is holding its intensity despite looking a bit disorganized on satellite. The official track keeps Iona as a tropical storm over the open ocean through the weekend, posing no threat to any land areas. just in from the National Weather Service. A new flood advisory has been issued for northeastern Adams and southwestern Morgan counties in Colorado. This advisory is in effect for the next 12 hours due to heavy rainfall causing small stream flooding, impacting areas like Leader, Hoyt, and Hoyt Beat Dump. Let's check in on the Turkey Feather Fire, burning northwest of Clayton Creek. We have some positive news to share. According to the latest reports, the fire is now 50% contained. It has burned nearly 24,000 acres. The most important update for residents is that there are currently no active evacuation orders or warnings for this fire. Firefighters have been making excellent progress, aided by recent rainfall that helped to significantly slow fire activity. Crews continue to work towards full containment. Just to update you on a report we received a little over an hour ago out of Doña Ana County, New Mexico. Around 10:16 p.m. local time, emergency managers reported a significant flash flood situation just east of University Park. This was serious enough to prompt a water rescue at the intersection of Dripping Springs Road and Camino Bonito. We'll continue to monitor conditions in that area and bring you updates as they come in. All right, so we're still tracking that flash flood warning for central Santa Fe County, New Mexico. This warning continues until about 2:15 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Doppler radar and automated rain gauges indicate that heavy rain has already fallen, with between 0.5 and 1.75 inches in the Santa Fe metro area. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly, with an additional 0.5 to 1.5 inches of rain possible. This is a life-threatening situation, impacting creeks, streams, urban areas, highways, streets, and underpasses. Locations like Santa Fe, La Cienega, Tesuque, and Agua Fria are affected, and this includes Interstate 25 between mile markers 270 and 286. This warning affects approximately 108,000 people. Remember, turn around. Don't drown when encountering flooded roads. Most flood deaths happen in vehicles. Be extra careful tonight, especially since it's harder to see the dangers of flooding in the dark. Arroyos and normally dry rivers can turn into raging killer currents in minutes. All right, chat, my AI ears have been glued to the scanners for the last 30 minutes, and things are getting plumb wild across the mid-Atlantic. This is a significant, widespread, severe weather event. Frederick County, Maryland is getting absolutely blasted by wind right now. I've analyzed over 200 transmissions, and the calls are non-stop for trees and wires down, blocking major roads like College School Road and Pixon Road. One report mentioned a branch snapping a high-tension line. County highway crews are scrambling to keep up. Behind that wind, the rain is just dumping. In Monmouth County, New Jersey, they're dispatching fire police for major flooding at 36th and Main Street in Belford. And get this, Baltimore City has activated its full Emergency Operations Center, the EOC, to manage the flood response. That's a huge deal, chat. They've even suspended all police traffic details citywide because conditions are so hazardous. This isn't just random pop-ups. It's a large organized storm system moving west to east. You see the wind damage hit first, then the flash flooding follows. If you're anywhere in Maryland, Pennsylvania, or New Jersey under these flash flood warnings, you need to be taking this seriously. Stay off the roads and stay safe. All right, y'all, let's break down the daily outlook scores for the week ahead. As a reminder, a DOS score from 0 to 30 is quiet, 30 to 60 means some activity, and anything over 60 is when things get interesting. Looking at the next 7 days, well, it's looking real quiet. Our highest score of the week is a 28.67 on Friday, with Thursday and Saturday also in the mid-20s. Everything is well within that quiet zone. The little bit of action we are seeing is coming from the NHC, which means we're just keeping a lazy eye on the tropics. The severe threat is very low. So what does this mean for content? With scores this low, a dedicated video is not likely, and a live stream is even less likely. Looks like Ryan might actually get a few days off. We'll let you know if anything changes, but for now, enjoy the calm. All right, camera in Chesapeake on I-64, where it's tough to see through the heavy rain and water on the lens. The roads are soaked, which is no surprise with a flash flood warning nearby for this area. All right, so we're still tracking that flash flood warning for the Hermit's Peak and Calf Canyon burn scar area in northwestern San Miguel County, New Mexico. This warning, affecting approximately 2,958 people, continues until 1:30 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. Radar shows heavy rain is causing ongoing or expected flash flooding and dangerous debris flows in locations like El Porvenir, Montezuma, and Sapelo. This is a life-threatening situation, y'all. If you encounter floodwaters, climb to safety and be extra cautious, especially since it's dark out. Just to update you on a report we received a little while ago, we're getting details on a flash flood event out of Rincon in Doña Ana County, New Mexico. This was reported by emergency managers around 9:45 p.m. local time. They confirmed significant flooding in the Rincon area. Again, that's a flash flood situation, so please be extremely cautious of any water over roadways. We'll continue to monitor this and bring you any new information as it comes in. All right, y'all, let's get you an early morning update on the Rock Creek fire. This is a serious situation. The fire has grown to over 31,135 acres and is currently at 10% containment. The most important thing to know is that immediate evacuation orders are still in effect for the Danner Road and Danner Loop area near Jordan Valley. If you are in this area, you need to leave now. For anyone evacuating, a shelter is open at Lyons Hall in Jordan Valley. If you have livestock, you can take them to the rodeo grounds. To make arrangements for either, please call Malheur County Dispatch at 541-473-5125. Please stay safe and listen to all official guidance. All right, for fire weather concerns, we have a critical fire weather area in place for parts of the central and eastern Great Basin. This is due to strong winds and very low humidity, creating dangerous conditions for any new fires. Okay, checking a camera in Chesapeake on I-64. The highway is completely soaked from the rain, which is a concern with a flash flood warning active nearby for potential roadway flooding. Okay, checking a camera on I-70 in Arapahoe County, and it's completely black out there. We can't see road conditions, but a flash flood warning is nearby for potentially life-threatening flooding. Just to update you on a report we received a little over an hour ago, we're now getting details on a significant flash flood event in Doña Ana County, New Mexico, just east of University Park. Around 10:16 p.m. local time, emergency managers confirmed a water rescue was underway at Dripping Springs Road and Camino Bonito. This highlights the real danger on the roads tonight. We'll continue to monitor the situation and bring you any further updates. All right, so here's your y'all cast for Portsmouth, Virginia. Did y'all know that despite its name, the Norfolk Naval Shipyard, one of the oldest and largest in the country, is actually located right there in Portsmouth? Okay, let's get right to it, because this is the most important thing you need to hear tonight. There is a flash flood warning in effect for Portsmouth and the surrounding areas, including Norfolk and Chesapeake, until 3 a.m. Eastern. Doppler radar shows that 2 to 4 inches of rain have already fallen, and flash flooding is happening right now. Please, y'all, be incredibly cautious, especially at night. If you see a flooded road, turn around. Don't drown. It's just not worth the risk. Right now, it's a soggy and stormy scene out there. It's about 76 degrees, but with the humidity near 94%, it is thick and soupy. Those showers and thunderstorms are likely to continue for a bit longer, and we could see another inch of rain before it's all said and done. For your Friday, the wet weather hangs on, with a chance for more showers and thunderstorms, especially before 10 a.m. It's going to stay mostly cloudy, with a high getting up to around 83 degrees. The big change you'll notice is the wind, which will shift to come out of the north and pick up, gusting as high as 21 miles per hour. Things start to dry out for your Saturday. We'll see some sunshine breaking through, but it is going to be a blustery day, y'all. That northeast wind will be cranking at around 16 miles per hour, with gusts hitting 26. There's a slight chance for a shower, but the main story is that wind. Highs will be near 82, and your reward for getting through all that is a beautiful Sunday. We're talking mostly sunny skies, a high near 83, and the winds finally start to relax a bit. That looks like your day to get out and enjoy the start of August. That's the latest for Portsmouth. Remember, if you've got a town you want to see on the Y'all Cast, just drop it in a super chat and we'll get right to it. Breaking news. The National Weather Service has issued a flood advisory for Asotin and Garfield counties in Washington, in effect for the next 2 hours and 15 minutes. Expect minor flooding in low-lying areas due to heavy rainfall, so remember to turn around, don't drown if you encounter flooded roads. Just in from the National Weather Service, a special weather statement has been issued for central Rosebud County in Montana, impacting areas like Colstrip and Brandenburg. You can expect wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour and penny-size hail for the next 44 minutes. Plus, watch out for heavy rain that could cause flash flooding. All right, checking our camera in Santa Fe. A flash flood warning is nearby with a threat of life-threatening flash flooding for this area. Okay, checking a camera in Deer Trail on I-70. The roads are looking wet out there, and there's a flash flood warning nearby for life-threatening flooding. Just in from the National Weather Service, a special marine warning has been issued for Pamlico Sound and coastal waters off North Carolina, from Currituck Beach Light down to Cape Hatteras. out to 40 nautical miles. Expect wind gusts of 34 knots or greater, potentially damaging small craft. And if you're on the water near Rodanthe or Pea Island National Wildlife Refuge, seek safe harbor immediately, as this warning is in effect for the next 58 minutes. All right, so we're still tracking that flash flood warning that continues for northwestern San Miguel County, New Mexico. This warning remains in effect, specifically for the Hermit's Peak and Calf Canyon burn scar, until about 1:30 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. That's about another 2 hours from now. We're seeing thunderstorms still producing heavy rain over that burn scar, and flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin very shortly. Remember, this is a life-threatening situation, and severe debris flows of rock, mud, and vegetation are possible, potentially washing away roads and driveways. This warning affects approximately 2,958 people in areas including El Porvenir, Montezuma, and Sapelo. If you encounter floodwaters, folks, climb to safety, and please be extra cautious out there tonight, as it's much harder to see the dangers of flooding in the dark. All right, y'all. Time for a situation update. Let's see where we're at. Right now, our weather intensity score, or WIS, is sitting at 21.98. On our scale, that means mostly quiet conditions. Confirming that, we have 0 tornado warnings and 0 severe thunderstorm warnings currently active. We do have 1 live storm chaser out in the field. Our stream mode is currently off, as the WIS is well below the live stream threshold of 178.22. The video probability for today is a no, so it's unlikely Ryan will be making a video for the main channel. Looking at the WIS forecast for the next 30 minutes, we expect a slow, steady decay. This is mainly because several active flash flood warnings are getting older, which lowers their score. However, we are forecasting a brief spike in about 18 minutes. This is based on an active mesoscale precipitation discussion that suggests a new flash flood warning is likely for New Mexico. After that potential warning, we expect the overall decaying trend to resume. Just to update you on a report we received a little over an hour ago, around 10:15 p.m. local time in Black Eagle, Cascade County, Montana, we had a public report of flash flooding. That report specifically mentioned water covering 15th Street North. Flooded roadways are incredibly dangerous, so please use extreme caution in that area. We'll continue monitoring the situation. Stay safe out there. Just in from the National Weather Service, a special weather statement has been issued for southeastern Carter County in Montana. This storm brings wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour and nickel-size hail, impacting Alzada and Albion for the next 39 minutes. All right, y'all, let's get a quick check-in on Tropical Storm Gil, which is churning out in the open waters of the Eastern Pacific. As of the latest advisory, Gil has maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour and is moving west-northwest at a brisk 16 miles per hour. The big story here is that Gil is expected to strengthen, likely becoming a Category 1 hurricane within the next 24 hours. It's forecast to hold that intensity for about a day before it moves over cooler waters and begins to weaken early this weekend. Most importantly, this storm is well out to sea and poses no threat to any land areas. All right, let's see what's happening with mesoscale discussion 0839. This is for our friends across much of New Mexico, far west Texas, and southeastern Arizona. And yep, that flash flood threat is still very much a thing. We've got slow-moving thunderstorms just sitting and soaking the area. There's barely any wind to push these storms along, so they're just dumping heavy rain on sensitive ground and old burn scars. This soggy mess is expected to stick around for the next several hours. Stay aware, y'all. All right, so the SPC has updated their outlook for the rest of the overnight hours. They are holding on to that slight risk for severe thunderstorms across parts of the central high plains and into northeast Wyoming. This risk area covers cities like Gillette and Sheridan in Wyoming, Scottsbluff in Nebraska, as well as Sterling and Fort Morgan in Colorado. For folks in these areas, a cluster of storms is already ongoing and could continue to produce some hail and strong, potentially severe, wind gusts through the evening before gradually weakening. There's also a marginal risk that includes the bigger cities of Denver and Colorado Springs, so don't be surprised if you see a strong storm there. And way out on the East Coast, a couple of strong storms are still possible in southeast Virginia, near Virginia Beach and Norfolk. The main thing to watch for there is some localized wind damage before those storms weaken or move offshore later tonight. The overall trend is for things to quiet down as we head toward sunrise. All right, camera in Chesapeake on I-64. It's pouring out there, and the roads are completely soaked, which makes sense with a flash flood warning nearby for this area. All right, so we're still tracking that flash flood warning for southeastern Mora and north-central San Miguel counties in New Mexico. Radar indicates heavy rain has already caused flash flooding in areas like Watrous and near Wagon Mound, and this warning remains in effect for another 2 hours and 8 minutes until 2:45 a.m. Central Daylight Time. This ongoing warning affects approximately 724 people, so please remember, turn around. Don't drown, especially when driving at night. Just to update you on a report we received a little over an hour ago. At approximately 10:16 p.m. local time in Doña Ana County, New Mexico, we had a significant flash flood report come in from emergency managers. This was just east of University Park, where a water rescue was reported at the intersection of Dripping Springs Road and Camino Bonito. A serious reminder of how dangerous these conditions are. We'll continue to monitor that situation. All right, moving on to flooding concerns. Let's take a look at the Day 3 outlook from the WPC, which covers this Saturday. We have a slight risk for excessive rainfall. That's a level 2 out of 4 for portions of the southeast. This includes the low country of South Carolina, southern Georgia, and into far northern and northeastern Florida. A strong front is going to stall out across this area, tapping into some very deep moisture. That's going to fuel thunderstorms with very heavy downpours, leading to a risk for localized flash flooding. So if you're in those yellow shaded areas, be on guard for rapidly rising water on Saturday. There's also a broader marginal risk, a level 1 out of 4, extending west across the Gulf Coast states, and also back up into the Rockies and Plains. In the Plains, that same front could fire off multiple rounds of storms, maybe even an MCS or two. The exact location is still a bit uncertain, but the potential is there for some high rainfall rates. All right, y'all, here's an urgent update on the Dragon Bravo fire burning near the Grand Canyon's north rim. The fire has now grown to over 115,415 acres and remains at 9% containment. This is critical. Mandatory evacuation orders are in effect for the entire North Rim area.